evening to one and all. Center of Excellence in Safety Engineering and Analytics, CoE-SEA, wholeheartedly welcomes all our dear participants to week 61 of the weekend talk on safety engineering, management, and analytics. The event is conducted under Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, which commemorates 75 years of India's independence. We begin today with this beautiful slogan, Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityoma Amritam Gamaya. Praying to Almighty to lead us from ignorance to truth, from darkness to light, and from death to immortality. Now let me welcome our dignitaries onto the virtual dais. We have Professor J. Maiti, who is the chairman of the center, Professor Obi Krishna, who is the convener of the event, and our expert speaker for the day, Mr. Agam Kumar. He is currently working as a Chief Safety Officer at Tata Steel BSL, Odisha, responsible for 6MT steel contribution to Tata Steel Group. He began his career as a junior engineer at Tata Steel in 1991 and held various positions such as supervisor of maintenance and operation, manager at safety, road and rail safety, head of safety and health, flat product division, Six Sigma black belt expert in TQM, head corporate safety Tata Steel, head of safety for Southeast Asia plant, Nat Steel in Singapore and Tata Steel Thailand, head of safety raw material divisions, head safety Tata Steel Jamshedpur plant. He has got experience in working as a maintenance engineer in steel plant, heavy maintenance in blast furnaces and steel melting shops. He has contributed to road and rail safety, behavioral safety, contractor safety management, process safety management, and safety and health management system at various organizations in India as well as Southeast Asia. Today, we are very privileged to have you as our expert speaker, sir. And now I kindly invite Professor Krishna to formally welcome our expert speaker.
Thank you, Sreen. Professor Maiti is not here because on Monday we have a very big event. So he is busy with sending the invitations and all those things. I'm really privileged to welcome Mr. Agam Kumar. Other than what's been told, I would like to tell a few things about Agam Kumar. His contribution in the road safety and contractor safety in Tata Steel as a whole, Tata Steel, Jamshedpur, coal mines, collieries, all these places, is very well appreciated, and the results were seen. Tata Steel, what we see today, is the contribution of great people, in which I don't hesitate to mention Agam is also one. Other than this, the safety management systems which have been established in Tata Steel, Jamshedpur and mines collieries has been implemented in 27, 28 associated companies, including Nat Steel, Tata Steel, Thailand, and he is the man behind this. And now Tata Steel, when they have taken Bhushan Steel, it's a new organization. So Tata Steel wants, wherever they go, the safety standards, safety management system should be alike. So to take all the learnings of Tata Steel Jamshedpur, which has been very proudly is doing for many years. Now he is in charge of that 6 million ton plant, where he is totally implementing the systems of Tata Steel. I'm very happy that plant is producing 100%, and also it has come to a level of what Tata Steel is looking for. So Mr. Agam Kumar is instrumental now, and he is responsible for that integrated steel plant of 6 million ton. This session is especially very important. He is the man who made huge contribution in the contractor safety management. At one point of time, when Tata Steel employees were 25,000, we used to have 50,000 contract employees. Now also it goes in that order only. Any organization in the world, if your employees are X, the contractor employees are normally 2X, 3X. So their safety is also responsibility of the principal employers. So making them safe, working in line with what the principal organization is doing is the crest of say, the contractor safety management. Today he will give the case studies of Tata Steel, how it has been taken, how it has been done. So all of you, it's a experience of carrying this to your plants. This is all proven results he will be proving, proven results he will be sharing. So with these few words, I invite Mr. Agam Kumar to start his presentation. Agam, to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for so nice introduction. I don't know I deserve it or not, but it was under your guidance, whatever I have done so far. It was all leadership. So I'll directly share my screen first. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
It's
Agam.
visible.
Sir, thank you very much once again. Thank you, Sween, for arranging this. So this will be the part of the agenda. Sir, you rightly said actually this. I'll come to that point also. The business model nowadays is that the industries are running by contractors only, and there are very few our own payroll employees. That is the business model adopted nowadays by the many industry, which was not earlier 30 years back, 40 years back. So, sir, I will start with today is a very auspicious day for us in Tata Steel. Today is the birth anniversary of JRD, the Bharat Ratna JRD Tata. So it's a very 29 July we celebrate, and it is the ethics month also we celebrate July month, and even now the celebration is going on in Mumbai for the for appreciating the companies who have done well over the year in TBM assessment. So that's the tribute to the JRD, sir. So that's a very nice day, sir. Coming to Tata Steel overview, Tata Steel group companies largely in India and Europe. We have facility in Thailand. We had one Nat Steel which has been sold out. But if you look at the India business particularly, the normally three locations mainly, in addition to mines, quarries. Jamshedpur having 10 million ton plant is more than 10 million ton now is producing. Kalinganagar is 3.2 million ton, is going for 5 million ton expansion now. So in future is going to be 8 million ton plus company. And Tata Steel BSL, which has merged 6 months back, has now become Tata Steel Meramandli. So this is a place called Meramandli in Odisha. So this is now Tata Steel Meramandli is 5.3. In the next 3-4 years, this plant will also go for expansion for up to 10 million tons. So, and Tata Steel long product business, which is recent acquisition, so it's around 0.7 million ton per annum. And there are the mines, quarries we know that coal mines, iron mines, and there are various divisions also, local units in Mumbai and many other places in India and abroad. Just I'll start with a quote that in a free enterprise, the community is not just another stakeholder. It is the very purpose of existence. This is what the Jane Tata had said. So, and contractors are, a very, very important stakeholder for us. Without contractors nowadays, we cannot think of running an industry. And I will also say that in safety, Mr. Narendran is our CEO and MD has always said, and always he was before becoming CEO and MD, he was Vice President Safety also. So he said always, and he has been saying that safety should be the core value, not a metric. Is what is which we should not think as a metric, rather as a value actually, and always he encourages us. Our policy, like any other company, we have also policies, principles. But the right side bottom, you can see, sir, normally we have identified six strategies, which is a long-term strategies, and actionable enablers are there. Every year changes, but the strategies remain same. And you can see that managing contractor safety is one of our very, very long-term strategy. We have not yet changed for last, I think, 8, 9 years when we formulated this in 2015. And since then, contractor safety continued to be part of the top six strategy of Tata Steel. I also like to highlight why this subject is very, very important. Actually, if you look at the global data, this data has from the World Steel Association (WSA) sources. So every year there is a large number of fatality among, particularly among contract employees. The last data which are having of 2020, we can see that around 50 fatalities only in the steel industry. I'm talking this, not the total one, and 34 of our own employees. So it's a huge number of fatalities that are happening. Tata Steel, is there, and many other steel industry are there in that list. The frequency rate, if we look at this, is also very high for contractors. Fatal frequency rate. This all sensitizes that how important contractor safety is. So whether it is contractor, whether it is employee, it all matter. How do we manage our risk? And this particular slide, I would like to highlight that there's no region in the world, whether it is Africa, whether Asia or Commonwealth, independent states, Europe, North America or South America. So everywhere you will find that, so this fatalities are happening among contractor employees. Yet to see any part of the world, there is no fatality like that. So this itself speaks that we have, contractors' safety is how important for every country in the world, not only in India, but every country in the world. If we look at the data here, the safety pyramid from the world steel industries only. So look at this is 2020 data actually. So bottom we can see that contractors pyramid, so 50 fatalities, some 700, 800 around lost time injuries, some restricted work cases, and minor injuries, near misses, and many unsafe acts and conditions. So this triangle, maybe we can have a separate session on the safety pyramid, that whether really it is forming a pyramid or not, that's a debatable. But of course, the numbers are high in terms of lost time injury and fatalities. What is their challenges at Tata Steel? So Tata Steel is not different. Challenger, we have also challenges similar to any other part of the country. So what we have envisaged the challenges which we have starting from the bottom itself, the competency of contract workforce, the way we have, what we see that the way we have the selection process for our own employees, we do not have similar for the contract employees. And in fact, normally I keep on telling to our colleagues and leadership team that the hazard is same for both, whether you employ your own or you employ under the contract. Hazard is safe. But when we have to select under our own employees, we have a very robust process of minimum qualification, the experience, everything we put in place, and then we select our own employees. But when the question comes for contract employees, we get any other people, we do not assess the competency of the contractor before taking them in our industry. It is an integrated steel plant, so you name any hazard, it is there actually. That is what the integrated steel plant, whether it is chemical, and particularly any steel industry across the world, having construction also, having their mines also. So we have all sort of hazard here. Geographically diversified is different parts of the country, different parts of the world, a different culture. We have to deal with those culture. The people are differently, their behavior, their societal needs, everything is different. So that makes it very, very challenging for us within the India, also even outside India also. Gaps in safety culture maturity. So in terms of merger and acquisition, further increases our challenges. maybe in one side we have achieved the maturity. By the time when Tata Steel or any other steel industries are in a growing path, so we acquire a new company. And then the challenges become like this was a Boston Steel earlier, and which has been acquired. So there was a different culture here before the acquisition, but that is a challenge which we face in developing the safety culture. Other is the lack of a skill development center. So lack of a skill development center. We do not have a skill development of the contract employees. Even outside facilities are very less. The number of contract employees we need inside is the more skilled people we need, which is not available outside. So these are all challenges which we face like any other industry. What we have adopted, I'll take the name of DuPont. DuPont gave this concept, set the baseline, how to start with the contractor safety management. So this has started with the contractor selection, contract preparation, contract award. So these are very, very standard procedure for deployment of the contractor safety management system. Starting with the selection procedure and it ends with the periodic evaluation. In between they are training, managing the work like that. But the challenge is how, the enablers, the bullet lines alone will not help us until unless we very articulate each and every point, we give a direction, we prescriptively, we write what is to be done in each of the stages, then only we will achieve the contractor safety management in totality. And challenges are really huge, actually. So I'll share a few good practices, best practice of Tata Steel under these steps, what we have done. But the journey was not so easy because the mass, the volume is very high. Anything we talk in contractor is something 50,000, 60,000. So we need to mobilize for 50,000 of the people. So I'll start with the first thing what we have done, the gap assessment. So gap assessment, we developed the questionnaire based on the 6-step process in initial days. That we identified that, what could be the question. And this question was jointly developed by the safety and the line manager. So we made a laundry list of some, let's say 30 questions. I remember when this task was given to me to drive, then we jointly developed this question and we identified the gap. After the gap, we formed a team and the team wrote the code of practice, the contractor safety management standard. It's a voluminous. While writing this contractor safety management standard, we took help of Tata Steel Europe. That time, Mr. Andrew was VP Safety leading to us. And also, we saw that what is the practice in Nat Steel, in Tata Motors, within Tata Group, or even we took help of other companies also in India. That what is their practice. So all the good practices have been compiled and put in one standard is the contractor safety management standard. And I remember the days when we launched this contractor safety management standard, the first reaction was that how it is possible, when we were talking of anybody will become the supervisor of a contractor and the standard said only the graduate engineer can become the contractor supervisor. So it was a big gap, what we wrote in the standard and what was actually available at soft floor levels. So it was a big gap actually, and it was a big reaction from the line managers that we cannot get a BTech guy in, for the contractor supervisor. But finally we did that. Strategy deployment, different strategy, long-term is a contractor safety, but in between the enablers kept on changing depending upon our task. What we learned from Tata Steel Europe, we cannot address everything in 1 year. That actually Indian mindset has to be changed. We need to think that we need to pick up 1 or 2 items in a year. Let's do it and let us strengthen it. That was the biggest learning from particularly in a European way of deployment of the subject. So we did not, pick up everything during the first year like that. Normally we make this mistake actually. So what we did that we pick up only 1 item or max 2 items, what we will do for the next 2 years until it gets matured. This is what we have started doing in the long-term plan. Training, like any other companies, training we did, but we have a different method of training. We brought the concept of contract CoE-SEA, we call it, contract owner and contract administrator. We made line manager responsible and accountable for everything, for every safety aspect of the contractors in the uh, we made them accountable. This is what I want to say that. And finally, we strengthen our the CMR process, the contract management review process. So it is not that it is one way. Where we are doing wrong or what could have go wrong, let us sit with them. The SOP which we have made, whether this has been followed or not. So this was all discussed with the contractors. We had a huge series of meetings with the contractors actually. Initial days, I remember, every week used to be a big meeting, communication, telling them what is to be done because this standard was new for the company and we put all best practices in this standard. So this sort of, this is the path, I'll say that this is the way we have implemented, and even after 2015 and now it is 2022, so after 7 years also we are still miles to go. This is the way I look at it. So we have achieved something, but we have many more things to be achieved as far as the standard is concerned. I'll share a few best practices. This will be helpful to all. Maybe this was unique for us because that time I remember a mandate was also given by our then chairman Tata Group, Mr. Cyrus Mistry, that because everybody was concerned that in 2012-13, the mandate was given that why not you set up something and filter who all are competent vendors for you. So he gave a concept of OSA 30,000. He said just. But we thought that getting OSA 13,000 is not so difficult. Anybody could get, any vendor can get OSA 13,000 by putting some system in. But finally, the incident will not stop. So what we have suggested, what we come out, this is not the safety department and linemen, all sat together and they came out with a concept called a star rating system. This star rating is unique from the Tata Steel point of view. So what we have done, similar to the concept called Tata Business Excellence Model and all. So 1,000 marks of the questions divided into PDCA approach. I'll come to that. And the 1,000 marks has been divided. And then we started, first thing we did that separated out the high risk and low risk. We did not keep any gray area in between the risks. Actually, normally, whatever, I'll take a call actually, just a second. Just a second, just a second. Yeah, sorry. So, normally when we started debate whether the risk is what type of risk, normally we say that high risk, medium risk and low risk. But we came out only there are two types of risk in this company. Either it is a high risk or it is low risk. There's nothing called medium risk. The moment why we said like this, the moment we say that there is a medium risk is also there. So many of the high risk jobs is, very conveniently slip down into the medium risk. And, the amount of effort, amount of, really the line managers required to put on effort on this will certainly reduce. We said no, either it is a risk is a low risk or a high risk. There is nothing called medium risk. So we removed the concept called medium risk like that. So first thing we did that divided the risk into two parts, whether job is done high risk and literally, everything you're doing in the steel industry is a high risk job actually. There's nothing called low risk job actually. So this is what the first thing we did that. Second is around 4,000 of vendor base we are there, which we divided into who all are falling into high risk or supply type or service type. Mainly we took the service type first. There are around 1,100 vendors were identified. They are in the high risk job. And the low risk category came only like the vending machine staff, some of the office cleaning staff like that. Otherwise, there were some 1,100 high risk service providers were there. We introduced the concept of, we defined the job responsible, JD of all this CA and CO, contract administrator and contract owner, what is to be done for them. Initial training focus on discussion, hand-holding. For the first 2 years, we really did hard. And we really put a lot of efforts in helping the line managers as well, to the vendors also, because it was new for both of them. Only there are few guys who were driving this. And we said that, in the standard, actually we started with something more, but finally we said that if a vendor is not a 3-star, we divided into 5-star rating, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If a vendor is not a 5-star, 3-star rated, he will not get a job actually. The minimum criteria we set for getting a service RFQ is the 3-star. And we linked it with the SAP system, IT based, so even the manual interventions are not there. So if in a 1,000 marks, if the vendor is assessed on a certain questionnaire, if it doesn't get the 650 marks, then the vendor will not be rated as 3-star, and certainly he will not be given RFQ for the job. This is the task we have started. And in the initial days, you will surprised to know, even we banned some more than 200 vendors who could not qualify, we stopped them. But at the same time, we were in the mind that we wanted to help them out also. It is not that only the banning will help us. So we wanted to help them out also. So a lot of hand-holding training. We took help of expert on our cost. We given them, we engage bureau, any name you can take, any name of India, good like Bureau Veritas, DNV, IRQs. Everybody, started coming and helping us actually. So we did that. Currently, all vendors are assessed by external assessor. We do not assess actually. There used to be calibration, or maybe somebody may question that internally everybody there may be inclination that I have to give to my vendor like 3-star or 4-star. So we engage the independent assessors who will do this job. First we trained them also, we calibrated them also, so that their marking is almost similar for all types of vendors, and we IT enable them this particularly, and periodic assessment through. And the last line, what is that after 4 or 5 years here, this is the last 2 years we have started. We said, no, once in a year audit may not be. Management thought that giving you the right picture, or it's not matching with the perception of the line manager. Line manager think the vendor is bad and he's getting 4-star because the audit is being done once in a year, and he qualifies. He manages the audit with showcasing a lot of good things. So what we have done that now the audit by the line manager continuously keeps happening throughout the year, and their marks is very, very important in terms of achieving the 3-star. So this is what the star rating system is. So in this slide particularly, if you can look at, so if somebody gets 850 to 1,000 marks, is a 5-star rater. Similarly for 4-star, 3-star, 2-star, and 1-star. If somebody less than 449 marks. So if the vendor is not 3-star, then he will not get the his score will not be registered in the SAP system. We linked with the SAP system, and the procurement will not be able to use. It will not appear actually from the procurement side if the vendor is not 3-star. So this is the minimum criteria. Same time, if we can see at the left side, what are the things? Planning of safety system and process. The first one is of 250 marks, where we ask your own process, your own system, your own standards. So we started demanding from contractors. The way Tata Steel is running the company, they are also running the company. They should have their own system of everything, management system, everything. So so it was a new for them, but we helped them. Because I have seen in one of the audit at Port Talbot, when I was interacting with the blast furnace, one of the contractor. So normally their practice, once you give the job to the contractors, you forget it actually, and the contractors will take care of everything, including safety and everything. But in the Indian context, it doesn't happen. We give the job and then we keep supervising. We keep doing investigation on their behalf. We keep reporting of unsafe act condition on their behalf. We said, no, if once we have given you a job, everything you will do from your side. It is not Tata Steel will do. Tata Steel will only ensure whether you are doing all these things or not. So this is the way we started a star rating. So lead indicator was some marks we have given macro, and minimum marks we have given for the lag indicator. Like if somebody has first aid cases, or lost time injury cases like that, or dashing, collision, dangerous occurrence. So list mark. Maximum marks we gave on planning and execution, and lead indicators like identification of, if they identify more unsafe act themselves, we'll give more marks to them like that. So this is what the concept of star rating we introduce in Tata Steel. And then finally we made it a slowly improvement. and we made it IT enabled also. Actually, every assessment, and now we have gone to an extent that every assessment after that it is verified by the senior leadership. Our Vice President Safety himself verifies particularly 4-star and 5-star vendors. So you can see this that still achieving 5-star is very difficult in for a vendor company. You have to have everything, best. Then only you can achieve the 5-star. Majority of them are still in 3-star. Very few are in 5-star. This is the way we started. If I pick up the other one, actually, the second good practice what we have, is as we have shown in the gap analysis, skill certification system. So we kept on saying that the skill of the vendor is not good. Then and finally, and we have seen that, I remember days of my road safety, the helper, after some time, the helper becomes a driver, and used to practice inside the company itself, driving the vehicle. And one day he becomes driver. Finally, here, same is there in welding, gas cutting, and electrical also, anything. So what we did that is skill certification system along with the, you can see that the last third bullet, JNTVTI, we developed JN TATA Vocational Training Institute, an NGO under the capability development. So where we set up all the facility for, first we identified how many skills we need. So currently more than 140 types of skill sets are identified for certification in a skill. You name any skill, it is there with us now. And some of them are theoretical and many of them are practical. For example, like if I have to certify a mason, for example, then there is a place he has to go, he has to demonstrate his skill. If passes, he is put under test. If he passes, then only he will certified to enter the company for the gate pass. I'll come to that point. If he doesn't pass, then we have a facility also. Then we give them according to the module, like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So this varies from 1 week to 2 months, 3 months also. So that's skill certification system we develop. We train them, we guide them, and then develop them. Then only after the pass, we make them gate pass. So we link with the gate pass actually. If somebody is not qualified, so normally the challenge was two actually for the new contract employees coming inside, and other was that our own existing contract employees. So existing contract employees were huge. So we started, we did not take this decision that if a contractor employee is not certified, he cannot go until we reach to a stage where 80% of our contract employees has got skill certified. And that is a different story for under different category we do that. Just I'm touching it upon how we have done. Many e-learning modules we have given to vendors. We have trained them. We wanted to help them also so that, and you will surprised to know, many of our trained, certified, skilled contractor employees, they have got job in other part of the country as well as they have got job in Gulf countries also. So that's a good for them also actually. So that's the value we created in the skill certification system. Currently, if a person is not certified, they cannot come inside. The first thing what we do, let's say for example a shutdown for any new job, we have given to a, let's say, contractors, and they have to bring, let's say, 100 people inside the company. All the 100 will undergo skill certification. If they pass, then only the gate pass will be made. And this is purely IT driven. There is no manual intervention. Everybody has to do their job and put it into the system. And if they do not pass, many times it happens, they bring 100, only 50 could pass, 50 could not pass. We give one more chance after some, let's say after a month or so. So like that. So challenges are there. It's not very convenient that, so you have gone for a shutdown and then somebody contractor brought some 100 contract employees and finally say only 20 can go inside. So you can understand the pain of line manager and the management. But so this is called the risk appetite. How much risk we can take, that's very important. So risk appetite of the company is very important. So if the risk appetite is very high, you can easily go. If your risk appetite is low, you don't want to take risks, then only certainly will have to go through this process. So this is all about the skill certification process. You can see that some of the training program is going on of contractors to JNGVTI. We have a simulators also. So like heavy vehicle simulators, two-wheeler simulators. So like that. Recently, first time we have brought, it is not there in picture, forklift simulator. We got it, forklift operator simulator. First time, I think the supplier said this is the first time India we got a forklift operator simulator. Also, we got it in Tata Steel Meramandali. Going ahead, road safety, bringing them to the site is a major challenge. Like any other company, we had also, and two-wheelers, cycles, they used to come to our site. Finally, we have stopped all the cycles. We have stopped all the two-wheelers. Now they cannot come inside by their own. We provided a free bus service. We have built in contract so that the vendor brings their own buses for their own employees. So build in their contract. They should quote considering they have to bring their employees through the four-wheelers or buses as per depending upon the number of employees they have. So, so we developed a parking area. We gave them full facility of parking. Just if somebody from a distance, let's say traveling or cycling to the gate, they can park easily. They can come to nearer to the gate, and buses are there. They can from the bus they can go inside to their places. Two-wheeler completely eliminated. Tata Steel Meramandali, you can see point number 2. So recently, I think a few months back only, we had to, and all the vendors supported. Very surprisingly, we were very afraid that, so if we will stop, something will happen like that, but it did not happen anything like that. So every vendor gladly accepted and they stopped the two-wheelers bringing inside that. But we have provided enough number of buses, accommodation facility, free bus service, infrastructure, traffic segregation, foot overbridge. So many things we have done for their safety. One thing I would like to tell, normally I tell people whenever I take session, you have to think actually. Recently Mr. Narendran also, he has said in one of the meetings that, we have to think that contractors are their own employees, they are their own people. Don't think them they are different or they are, because now the business models are such that we have to get the job done through them only actually. We don't have option. So give them the best facility the way, you think of a unionized employee we used to give. So same way we have to give the amenities, infrastructure for sitting place, for canteen facility. So you have to be empathetic to them so that they work for you. If you will not give all this facility, they will not work for you. And particularly in Odisha, where I am, they are surrounded by industries only. There are many industries, so they have got options. They can go from one company to the other. It is a safety only can keep them, staying or sustenance for a longer duration in your plant. Other things are common: smart buses, GPS tracking, CCTV, everything with that under that. Fourth is amenities. As I talked, you can see that the mass meeting, discussion. The last point number 4, you can see that. First and fourth, I explain. First, a joint JMCP. It is purely every month by a senior leadership. They go and interact with the contractor. They hear from them. What is the problem? The big thing in the contractor safety is first you listen them. If you will not listen, then certainly will not improve. This is what we have done actually. We have started listening them. And I remember many times we used to go to the canteen, their canteen facility for eating with them actually, what the type of food they are eating. So we used to go to him, their canteen, contractors' canteen, sit with them and eat with them like that. That sort of empathy is required. And the last fourth point is mentor-mentee concept. This gave a lot of good result, mentor-mentee. What we did that in each of the sections, we divided the contractors in a smaller group, 5-6 people, and we made a mentor from our side so that they can help them. So they started interacting formally, informally. Actually, we did not make so much formal. We just informally interact. So they will come up, they will open up, and they will tell you. When they started with ki boss, we are not getting paisa nahi mil raha hai humko. Boss are they started with this sort of thing. But finally, when all those things have been settled down, then finally they started saying the safety, the near miss, and I have attended few toolbox meeting, and I have seen good practice in one of our site in Tarapur CRC well, that when we in the morning meeting, when I asked, was there any near miss? Can anybody share any near miss? It's a group of 30 people contract him. Everybody raised hand and everybody was willing to speak that, sir, boss, the near miss mere saath hua kal aisa, So you can think of the benefit of engaging them, helping them so that they because those are the guys who are close with the hazard. We are not close with the hazard. So they know the problem better than anybody of us. So that we need to think of and help them to open up and share. Because until we know, if we one phrase is very, very important. Normally, when I take session on hazard identification, if you cannot see the hazard, doesn't mean hazard is not there. Normally we say like that. If we are passing through a forest, dense forest, a tiger is there, and if I don't know there is a no tiger is not there, doesn't mean hazard is not there. Hazard is, of course it is there. I know or I do not know, whatever. So that's very, very important in contractor safety. We gave a proper platform. You can see that the VP safety interacting with the people formally with different target audience, sometimes with the supervisors, sometimes with the contractor proprietors, contractors owners. That we call it Aapka Manch Aapke Vichar Summilan program that was launched and with the union, with the contractors proprietor and all. And this particular is regarding during the major shutdown. So major shutdown, we bio toilets, the temporary shades, the food facility and everything. We normally we arrange for them so that they should feel that they are being good taken care of so that they can work safely. Actually, if they have to rest, give them a place for rest. Actually, if they continue working, sometime it has happened, continue working for a longer duration, so chance of accident is high actually because of he's not slept well or he's not fit because of the food starve or anything. So that's the way we have done. We have communication, engagement, and amenities. And I'll share the last one because I'm more interested on question answer if anybody has. So this is the safety leadership development. Normally we conventionally we gave training earlier with PowerPoint. So now we get rid of PowerPoint training to the contractor employee during the induction, also during the after a year we have a system of renewal training like that. So we have developed a safety leadership development center. So this is a theoretical slides. I'll show you something more what we have done. So there is a message from leadership. There is a working models on PPE, positive isolation. They can go and put the locks the way they want. So we made a working models on positive isolation. Particularly electrical safety, we can see that there is always chance of once we take out the breakers and chance of spark and always there are so many incidences have happened in past. So electrical safety have been taken care of. Walking right, they can go, they can see that scaffolding is standard. And finally, everybody has to go on test center. They have to sit before the computer, and they have to pass. You may ask that many of the contract employees, particularly in housekeeping employees, they are not literate. They cannot, how can they appear in the test? So we have made them touch screens, sort of. There is a faculty, there is a person there who can help them. They ask the question from them, and they say which one to be ticked, and they say B. Then we ask them to just select the touch screen, the B point like that. So that's the way we have taken care of test center. Each and every contractor employees, in addition to skill certification, they have to go for safety training because that is mandatory in India. Without safety training, nobody can enter inside. And they have to undergo the test certification. Once they pass, then only he can. If doesn't, again he has to go back for the training. Again he has to come for the, I think 2 or 3 chances given them. So they come out, they pass after retraining and all that. Different cluster, you can see that these clusters are different places. The pictures, the PP, everything is there. Welding gas cutting, one can see the welding gas cutting also. We can say that loss of containment, process safety we have been there. So material handling is there. So they can go and see that, they can feel what the chain blocks, the ceilings, everything is kept there. They can see that what is the good ceiling, what is bad ceiling. So there is a trainer for them. So trainers give them training. Okay. And finally, this test certificate, different clusters are there. And the last is the, just started the reward and recognition because everything culminates once at the reward and recognition. So what we have started, just started actually, So these awards are two level, as an individual level as well as the contractor company level as well. So individual level, these are the left side. You can see that the criteria how we are selecting the contractors for awarding, and the right side is for the companies actually. So there is a safety governance structure. So there are two types mainly: less than 100 manpower and more than 100 manpower. And that's the way we have just started, and the award at different level, and it goes to highest at the CEO and MD level. Annual award is at his level. So you can see that the award from the individual level is something 10,000, 25,000. If there's a vendor organization, is go for 2 lakhs, and the maximum is 10 lakhs actually in a year. If a good vendor company has come up with some criteria, the company will award them up to 10 lakhs actually. So that's the awards, reward and recognition system we have just put in place. Certainly, this will help us. So I'll
In Tata Steel, safety is not an option.
So just I'll share a video where MD has said something. So
in Tata Steel, safety is not an option. It's a promise.
I think the minimum that we should promise to anyone who walks into Tata Steel is they'll walk back or walk out of Tata Steel unharmed. And I think the Safety Excellence Center is a good place to start that journey.
And thus, to accomplish its promises, the Safety Leadership Development Center was established and inaugurated by Mr. N. Chandrasekharan, Chairman Tata Sons, in March 2020. The training range covers from PPE to various other safety and health-related aspects in all spheres of activities, starting from the office, plants, and mining. The center's focused approach with new policies and framework has brought in positive results. Equipped with modern technologies in the field of safety and health, SLDC has set the ball rolling, inducing the employees of both Tata companies and that of the contractors to a safety training course conducted by the safety training instructors. SLDC is all set to accomplish the target. In Tata Steel.
So this was the training center which we have developed that is helping us, and all 50,000 contract employees every year they are going. Now even we have gone beyond this also, even our own employees and officers, if they do not pass, even the promotion will not be given to them. So that we have now linked with our own employees. Every our employees have to undergo annual training before. So, but we have still some challenges. We have a lot of challenges. Very, very difficult. Journey is not so easy because the company is also expanding from 1 million, 10 million, 20 millions like that. And different parts of the countries, the acquisitions are going on. So that is that aggravate the challenges. So reinforcing safety culture. What we have just started, or we are planning key contract employees with their spouse, we will be calling and train them, because we now feel that the spouse will be the better wife, particularly I'll say, will be help us in motivating their husband to work safely. Actually, this is what we are just started. Digital technology intervention, a lot of CCTV or video analytics to identify unsafe act conditions. That is what happening. And developing experience center on safety. This is another one. As I recently I came across, JSW has done that. Experience center, our colleague is there. So similarly, I had a meeting with the party also. So the person can experience actually, if something, let's say, hand goes inside the conveyor, one can experience that. So we are thinking of setting up experience center also in future. So resulting into increased safety and productivity. So this is all from the contractor safety point of view. There are many things are there. I have not touched upon. Maybe the industries are doing. But only I'll say that like the skill development, it is each and every corner of Tata Steel, the center is there. So which we are mandatory made for the contractors. So thank you from my side. I'm happy to take the questions. It was short presentation. Over to you, Srini.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for this nice presentation and informative talk. Sir, we have received several questions in the chat box. So I am taking, sir, one by one. Sir, first question is that do you issue work permits in the name of contractors?
So work permit is mandatory for contractors. Normally, our practice is there are three agencies involved in work permit. One is the contractors. Second is the our own Tata Steel, and third is the operating guys. So we issue work permit, a working agency where contractor has to sign. So contractors also signs in the work permit when they take work permit, because majority of the job is done by contractors only. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, sir, second question is who checks that the contractor bus ordinance and the driver fitness, including consumption of alcohol?
Yeah, it's my pet subject actually. For last 1 year, I have done a lot of hard work on this subject, particularly in Odisha, where the people love alcohol actually. That's the trade in alcohol in Odisha actually. So what we have done, we have made almost every day, you can assume that every day almost something 600 to 700. For the last 1 year, we are checking the alcohol. It is mandatory almost for all buses and the drivers. This is what the first thing we did. And we have caught almost in the last 1 year, I'll say around 600 to 700. We have proacted before they enter inside the gate, actually, we do that. And the consequence management normally should not have, but for our case, consequence management is very, very tough. If somebody is found in alcoholic condition, they will have to lose their job. That's all. Actually, there's no second chance because we cannot take. So that's the way we have gone up to that level. So after 1 year, I'll say now for the last 4 weeks, I am monitoring report. We have a zero alcohol cases out of checking some 5,000 drivers, contract employees like that. So it's a tough journey, but this is my personal agenda on ensuring people nobody can come inside the company in alcohol condition. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Now, sir, next question is does women contract workers are engaged in production and maintenance activities?
Yeah, they are involved, but this degree varies from the location also. If you talk of our Jamshedpur plant, actually, yes, they are involved in maintenance also. We have a dress code for them. So there is a different story. Maybe Professor Dr. Obi Krishna will share on this sometimes. So how this has we have implemented. So dress code means they have to wear like tight, no loose clothing, so that the hazard is eliminated. So that we have done, and they are involved in operation. If you are talking of contractors, they are involved in maintenance activities with the proper dress code and skill certification. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, sir, next question is, sir, are you using virtual reality to train the contractor workers?
See, actually, COVID taught us a lot of things. Actually, and last 2 years was a mess. Actually, I'll say that though we tried number of times where physical distance was mandatory sort of during the last 2 years, but that was only to minimum requirement, where people cannot. But we made arrangement actually in a smaller group. We made some separate safety centers where people in a distance of let's say 6 feet can sit together during COVID. So that time we made that also. So there is no virtual. We are not encouraging actually. That's not so effective as well, particularly for the contract employees. It's not effective. So we are going for the physical training now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, sir, next question is, sir, where these two-wheelers and cycles are parked, as there are thousands of them?
We have developed parking place for them. So just outside the gate, from a walking distance of let's say 700, 800 meter, we develop parking place for them. We made arrangement everything before we said that two wheelers are not allowed. So on a wall footage basis, we develop parking place for them. We ensure that their parking, because the cycles and everything are very close to their heart, So we assured them nothing will happen to their bikes and cycles, and then only we allowed. Yeah. Ajit, you want to say something? Yes, Obi.
Yes, sir. Now, sir, next question is, sir, that Tata Steel generally form some kind of safety committee So is there any law or it is a TSL standard?
Safety committees, as per law, we all know, many of us safety officers are there. As per law, you have to make actually Apex Safety Committee comprises of 50% representative from workers, 50% from management, like that's law. But law is, there is a minimum requirement. We have gone beyond the law actually. And as per our requirement, that, one company's requirement cannot match with the other company's requirement. So over the last 15, 16 years of safety journey, we have been to, I think, 7 times of PDC we have done in the governance structure. So, and we have currently, even everybody is surprised, in each of the department, we have made a group of contractors, and there's a contractor safety committee, and it is led by contractor only. One of the proprietor who is the best in safety, they lead the committee. And the Tata Steel officers are the member in this committee. The chairman is the contractor's proprietor. They are leading the safety committee. So we have gone to that level actually. It's not only Tata Steel led, it's a proprietor-led safety committee we have developed and given them platform. So they decide, they lead, they review, everything they do, the way we do, they do, wherever they instruct us what is requirement, then we support them, resource them, like that. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Another last question is, sir, that what kind of medical examination record you keep for these contractor workmen?
Yeah, actually, in Odisha, where I am there, is a very good system actually. In Odisha, which is not there in Jharkhand, actually, other part also, but in Odisha, but in mines it is there. So we have Form 31, we call it, and all set of parameters are there. From some 27, 28 parameters are there. So initial medical examination, IME we call it, and periodic medical exams. So anybody who is coming inside the company has to undergo that medical checkup. And this parameter consists of like hypertension, the blood pressure, sugar, cholesterol, eye test, what you call, many other parameters are there which is checked. Then only once doctor declares them fit, then only they can come inside.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so this
sir.
is what we are. But
Yes,
normally what we do, we have a good practice actually. We measure the health index of contractors also on 4 parameters. So health index are that like BMI, body mass index, BMI, cholesterol, diabetes, and blood pressure. We divide it into 0 to 4 scale. And then we measure the health index of the contractor. And you will surprise to know that the contractor's health index is better than our own employees' health index. Higher the better. If they are scoring some 13.56 like that, health index, whereas our own employees' health index is something 12.5 like that. So contractors, probably because of the young workforce, we are getting benefit in terms of health. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your nice explanation. Now I would like to invite Professor Krishna to provide vote of thanks to our expert speaker. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Savi. Please unmute all, because this is such an interesting topic.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I would like to leave 1 or 2
Yes,
questions
sir.
to the audience.
Attendance can.
If anybody want to ask directly, Agam, any question you can ask.
Sir, good evening. I am Dr. Madhuri, authorized factory medical officer in Goa. I have a question. It was a wonderful session. It was excellent and got to learn a lot. My question is, now as per factories rules, it's required to do a pre-employment medical examination before anybody enters the premises to conduct any work. In case if this work person enters the premises for only a period of 1 day for maintenance or something, does the factories rule, because the factories rules does not mention the duration of the work. It just mentions anybody who is entering the premises or handling equipments has to undergo this. So many of the companies, they tell me, no, it is not required because the work is only for 1 or 2 days. So what should we do? Because we advise them to do it, and is the factories rules requiring to do the pre-employment for a period of 1 day also, if the work is only for 1 day? Still, is it to be followed?
Yeah,
If it does work.
Yeah, Doc. Actually, you're very pertinent and you really ask question on behalf of line managers. Actually, all line managers ask the same question. So, Factory Act or rule does not differentiate whether he's coming for a day or more than a day. So, as far as rule is concerned, it is mandatory. In the assistant director of factory and while anything happens, even it comes for a day also, I have asked the same question to the government official. They said, no, we need a certificate actually. How can somebody, even they are asking even drivers if they are coming. So what we have done, doctor, so, we have authorized some of the government hospital. So, and we have given our parameter actually. So these are our parameter of measurement. So we proactively we send them that is the criteria for the check, and if they can bring the certificate from their place, we started allowing them actually. Though there is some AFMH, all this thing, AFI, what is in your terms is required, but then the benefit we have started giving to the contractors. They can do at their place before coming. We are okay with that, and if they have done from the government hospital, that's the way we helping them.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir, for the wonderful.
May I take a question, Mr. Agam?
Sir,
I'm Pankaj
hello.
Singhal. Yeah, I'm Pankaj Singhal.
Sir, I'm
from
Swami Prasad now. I have seen your presentation is very nice, sir. But there was a mention about the fire safety on the part of contractors.
Sorry, fire safety you said?
Yes, sir. Fire safety was not in your presentation was not touched upon.
Yeah, correct. I did not touch all the. I have not touched all the points, assuming that these are the stuffs everybody is doing fire safety point of view, training and all those things. So we are continuously, two things I'll say. One is for fire, we train them wherever they are working in the gaseous area or the toxic or flammable area. That is one. Second, we provide the rescue arrangement. If they are working in, let's say, confined space, through our work permit system, we control it, and we have enough number of manpower where we deploy for the rescue of the contract employee if they are working in such a close confined space job or work at height job, so that they can be rescued quickly. So that's the way we are. I assume that fire safety everybody is doing actually. I did not touch in detail, though I am also heading fire here actually in Meramandi.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Pankaj Singh.
Yeah.
If Pankaj Singhal, you want to ask?
Yes. Just a question, because lots of things I have seen personally in Tata Steel when the Tata Joda mine first expansion was happening through Bateman Innova. So I was working there. So that's how I just wanted to know, what is the cost impact on TSL for improving that stuff on the contractors, because this is again a challenge for many of the companies. I'm working with the Adani nowadays, but the cost impact is always worry for any of the company.
See, actually, yeah, that's the dilemma among the management. But when the day the incident happens, management does not spare you by stating that you did not do anything good because there was a cost involved with it. See, what I see and I say normally, these are not a cost; these are all investment. So if you have to run a plant, and you have to run in a way that the investment is, for example, like PP is required, and you are not giving PP. You are saying this is a cost to the company. This is not at all cost the company. You are not running the plant the way you should have run. And recently, I had a debate with a government official, and she said, "You guys are talking of ethical things. These are all unethical things you are doing. The Section 21 of the Factory Act talks about the guarding of the machinery. You have not done the basic actually. If you are running a plant, so let us at least comply with the minimum legal requirement actually. So this is not at all the cost actually. Our management has to think if they have to run the plant, they have to do the minimum stuff. And we are not doing the minimum stuff, and then we are saying this is a cost to the company. So as far as Tata Steel is concerned, there is no shortage of money in terms management has demonstrated many a time. They are saying regularly every day. So anything which the hazard can be reduced or risk can be reduced by investing money, let's do it actually. So that is a different subject. Maybe that's a theoretical subject. We can always debate on that. But if a risk can be reduced by investment, let's do it actually. And for a company like Tata Steel, it is possible. Company like Adani, it is possible. By investing money, we can reduce the cost. That's the way you think. And it is all the life of the contractor. The day somebody loses his life, just think from his point of view, his family point of view. And we could have, can we afford of losing our own relatives, our own son in similar condition, and then we'll justify because of the cost we have not done that. So we'll have to come out from all these things, and that is my way, boss, Pankajji. But it is not a cost; it is an investment. We'll have to think.
No, that's okay because we need to load that cost to the contractor anyhow. That's how we need to see the gap, how much gap it is coming. So if there is a benchmarking like 4%, 5%, something, if that calculation is there, because you might have done all the calculations. So because that would be a great insight for all the companies, like this is nothing basically. This money is nothing. That's how, if Tata Steel could reach on that level with this money, so why not us also? So that's how I was asking this question.
Okay. So we have not calculated, but normally whatever it come on its way, we invest actually. And there's a method for that. It's not like there's a sanction method. We have to justify how it is required. So there's a governance for investment which you can think of. Put a first governance. Make a safety kitty for the every year, like what we have done. There's a safety kitty this year. It was minimum was 40 crores. So anything somebody wants investment within 40 crores, in addition to everything I'm saying, this is additional 40 crores. So company gives, we put up the project to management and they see that prioritize them. Those who qualify under the risk category, then they get the money for investment. This is the way last, I think 2009, when Dr. Obi Krishna was there, we started with the 5 crore, but now it went up to 40 crores actually. That's the way we have thought of. But this is a minimum actually. There is a kitty with the MD also, MD's fund. There is a local fund. So almost huge investment we keep doing. And just think, I'll share one more thing, Pankaj. I am in this Meramandi plan. Yesterday, I was taking a session here on field leadership. So, one of the reason of this Bhushan Steel collapse was safety. What happened in 13th of November 2013, there was an explosion in the blast furnace, the slag pit area. And because of that, the whole plant was closed for 4 months. And many people got arrested also, including the chief safety officer that time. The plant head, plant manager, everybody got arrested. There were 2 deaths in a day on that particular incident. And that was the biggest turmoil for the Bhushan Steel, and they could not recover because if you close the plant for 4 months, suddenly it's very, very difficult to come out for a single location company. Okay, so that is safety is that much we need to understand and sensitize management actually. If nothing is happening, you are lucky enough. The day anything happens, we'll have to pay the cost. And we know many things. Bhopal disaster, we all know that. And many industry we know that it's all shut down.
Okay. Thank you, Pankaj. Savik, please mute all the people. Mr. Agam Kumar had given a great insight of contractor safety management, which other organizations will not share to that extent. Tata Steel is an organization works for the community. Mr. Narendran has told many times. Our prior MDs also told safety practices we can share with the world. As a result, some lives are saved. Tatas will be very happy. And Agam, you started with telling about Mr. J.R.D. Tata's birth anniversary. I am really delighted. My right hand, when I was young, at say 27 years old, has the opportunity, fortune of shaking with Mr. J.R.D. Tata. That is the happiness I carry all the time. So he was looking at the in situ machines. He said, "Young man, I will operate. You give it to me. I will operate." And he operated that machine, in situ machine, in the exhibition. That is the passion of operating the machines he had. Thank you, Agam. We all pay our tributes to J.R.D. Tata. He is the visionary. He is the pioneer of many things, visionary of the industrial world. We are all fortunate to have persons like him. Thank you for bringing Mr. J.R.D. Tata to this forum. Uh, I remember still people used to say we have to bring the contractor safety at par with our employees. People never used to accept. This I'm talking in 2005-6. They are ill-educated, they are ill-trained, they are ill-skilled. All these things people used to say. But now organizations like Tata still say it is better to manage, it is easier to manage contractors than our own employees. It is easy to train contractors than our own employees. That is how the contractors' injury rates, contractors' fatality rates is not higher than the employees. This is the case which used to present across the world, the contractor safety management at Tata Steel. Somebody was asking about the cost. IIT will provide you many models on cost benefit analysis. We should understand, as Agam rightly mentioned, the cost and the investment. We used to face initially when the safety management system was not matured, people used to ask these questions. When Tata Steel brought the world-class scaffold character, people thought it is high cost. Then afterwards, this people used to feel, no, it is not cost. It is reducing my cost. When Tata Steel implemented positive energy isolation for the contract works, people used to say that the time is lost at that time. But now say no, the time is reduced. That's what Mr. Agam Kumar said. By investing on the facilities, on the training, on the skills of the contractors, the benefit which you get is manifold, multifold. With the Tata Steel case studies itself, we can show so many models. They are all associated with IIT Kharagpur. That's why I'm telling. To stop cyclists coming inside, when Tata Steel, after putting all the efforts, they could not stop the incidents with the cyclists because it is the mixed traffic. They cannot separate the traffic. It was a huge revolution. But it happened. Now I am very happy to hear from Agam. They have stopped the power two-wheelers also. That is you see, you don't see difference between a developed country and if you come to Tata Steel, the practices, you see the same thing. That's what I keep telling in many places. Because as a DuPont consultant after leaving Tata Steel, I used to go to many countries. I used to tell them, you go and see this plant in India. They used to feel, oh, how can we go to developing country? See, you see the practices. It is not the developed. It is the practices which people have to see. Thank you, Agam. You have shared very good information. A lot of my scholars are there in this. They will develop many models from your discussion. They develop mathematical models. They develop machine learning models on these AI models. All these things they can develop. You have given information. Sometimes we'll invite you to IIT Kharagpur to share your thoughts to our youngsters, our scholars, and others who will make a shape of putting into model and taking it to the world that they can do. Thank you very much. You will be a great resource to our Center of Excellence in Safety Engineering and Analytics. We'll be taking your help. Thank you very much, Agam. And I thank the moderators. They're all very busy today because we have a very big program we have to conduct from Monday. Still, they are able to make this very, very successful. Sri, Ashish, Savik, and all these people. And I thank the participants for very active participation, not only in the question box, also in direct communication. Direct questions. I never allowed so many questions till this 61st talk. We used to limit direct questions very limited, but because of seeing the enthusiasm of the speaker as well as the questionnaires, I have allowed 4 or 5 questions. Very good questions. Thank you very much. Thank you all the participants. I also thank IIT Kharagpur for giving this platform, and all the speakers. I get a lot of requests telling that I want to speak on particular thing. I want to speak on particular thing. So I'm very, very happy with this response. That's why I'm able to provide a platform to many people, many experienced, qualified, successful practitioners. And this platform, because your communication will be put into CoE-SEA, the YouTube channels. It will be communicated across the world. I get a lot of responses. You can also see the responses. We keep getting responses on these talks. Many people from abroad. 1 minute. Many people from abroad, from US, Middle East countries. Earlier, they used to feel difficult to attend this because of time gap. Now they say because of putting this information in the net, they are able to see at their own time. Thank you all. And next week, again at 8 p.m., we'll see. Next Friday, 8 p.m., we'll again meet. This time, you will see an academician will be speaking next week. Thank you all. And good night. Good night, Agam.
Thank you, sir. We'll see you sometime next week. Logging off. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.